Hello, everyone. Yes, we're going to go back to do some IPv4 subnetting. Still getting a lot of questions. I have a subnetting video out there. Some people like it a lot. Some people still get confused. No worries. I'm going to go ahead and do one example of an IPv4 address. I'm going to subnet an A, a B, and a C. Okay? Different masks, obviously. So you can see how the method that I use is the same, just in different octets. I'm going to slow it down. I know I have a tendency to go fast, so I'll make sure I'll slow down. All right? But even though in your CCNA, all right, and definitely CCNP, and when you get to your CCIE level, this is something that you need to know. When you go to the workforce, this is something that you need to know off the top of your head. Do you use subnet calculators? Yes. But again, people use networks. I told you I worked for a telecommunications company. Okay, we had spreadsheets upon spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of IP addresses, but there were network IDs. You had to come up with the IP address. Once you look at a network ID, right, meaning an IP address and a mask, you should know, oh, okay, this is the range. Obviously, if it's a CIDR 30 or something simple, I'm not saying you're a whiz kid with numbers, whatever, but you're gonna see how simple this is. But like anything, practice makes perfect. You gotta practice, 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 practice. Okay? And I know I've mentioned in the past to go to subnettingquestions.com. And I'm not gonna get deep into it, but remember, and because I do have a subnetting video out there anyway, okay, that talks about the zero network. If you're using the zero network, not using the zero network, where do you subtract to on the network side, or you do subtract to, yes, no, maybe so, depending if you're using the zero network or not. Okay, but I may mention it briefly, but the point for this lesson is to just finally see if I can clear any doubts up about subnetting. All right, subnetting. All right, so let's start with a class C. Is the easiest one, right? Let's use black. Okay, so we'll start 192.168. Oh, wow, it took forever to put two dots here. Okay, 168, 100 dot, and let's already have it subnetted. Oh, well, let's say 0, right? Let's say 0, and we're using a 24. All right, so if you're using a 24, you don't know that's 255, and I'll write it out. This right here, that's your subnet mask. That means 255.255, sorry for my fives, .255.0. Okay? It takes a while for the dots to come out. Okay, whatever. All right, so that means that you're not doing anything here, you're not doing anything here, and you're not doing anything here. You can only work in the last octet. So what the first thing you need to do when you're subnetting is you pay attention to that. So let's say you have that address and they want you to subnet it, or you want to subnet it. Doesn't matter. Now, remember, and I don't want to throw a monkey wrench in this, if you go this way, I mean, I'm going to erase some of this stuff because now it's just becoming gibberish. Okay? Be more. Okay? All right, let me get the pencil back. All right, so if you have this, you can do whatever you want. If you can't, I was gonna say, if you come this way, because right now the default line, that mysterious line, that magical line, whatever you want to call it, let's use red, all right, so we can distinguish, all right, is right here. This is your network portion. This is your host portion, okay? That's your host portion right there. So we have 254 addresses. How does Laz know that? My God, how does he know that there's 254 addresses? Because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, on the top, you have your bit values. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Again, bit values. That is the value of that particular bit. Doesn't matter which octet you're in, those bit values won't change. You count, when you're counting for host, right to left, starting by 2, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, minus 2, 254. That's how I know we have 254 addresses. Okay? Now I know there's a question out there, and this is a question I always get asked. Why do you count by 2? Isn't not that the formula that you use to calculate hosts or networks? 2 to the n minus 2. Okay? That's it. This is the number of bits. You multiply the number of bits, to that number, subtract 2, there you go. Well, I do it this way. This just freaks me out, so I don't do it that way. That's all. All right? That's the reason I count by 2. All right? That's it. I just don't use that. All right? So anyway, with that said, let's go ahead. All right? And let's subnet this. Okay? Let's slice it down the middle. Well, not even down the middle. Let's say we want 2, 4, 8 networks. All right, so we need 3 bits. So we can't do nothing with the first octet. We can't do nothing with the second octet. We can't do anything with the third octet. So we're working in the last octet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Now I said I wanted 8 networks, right? I counted with my fingers. 2, 4, 8. So networks, you go from left to right. So 2, 4, 8. There's my line. So the original line, and let's change this big guy right here. Side effects, or noise effects, whatever. Let's put this line in blue. All right? So the original line was up here. I took that original line and I moved it over 3 bits. Okay? So that means that the mask is no longer 24. What's the mask going to be? 27. That's our new mask. So we added 3. We added 3 more bits. That makes it 27. All right. How many hosts do we have? Okay. I'm going to change the color back to red. All right. So host, right to left. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, minus 2, 30. So we have 8 networks and 30 hosts per network. That's what that means. So what is your first network? Well, you can use this. We're using the 0 network. That's why I didn't subtract here. So you could start, okay, my first network is 192.168.100.0/27. My next network, what do we increment by? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Let me get rid of some lines here. Oh, I like this. Okay. I don't know what I chose there, but okay. All right. So this is 32, believe it or not. All right. So this value, right? Oh, oops. Gotta get the pencil back. 32. This value right here, all right, is how you increment your network. So if 100.0, the next one is 100.32. The next one is 100.64 and so forth. 100.96. And then keeps going all the way till you get to the last network that's possible is, I hope you can see it down here. You know what? I'll put it right here. No. Where am I going to put it? You can see it. The last network that's possible is 224. I'm just going to let you know. 224. But let's just give it a try anyway. 100.224. This is the last possible network. Why is that? I mean, you got still in between, but I just put the last one because I'm running out of room, right? So why? Because your mask, if you were to add this side of 27, you know what that means? That means 255, 255, 255. And if you add the bits that are on, which are these three, it's 224. And that is always the case. That is always the case. If you look what your mask is, that's what's going to be, if you do this right here, if you add all the bits that are on, that's going to be your mask. That's going to be your mask, and that's going to be your last network. So what do you do now? Well, you have a choice. There's two choices. You can add these guys right here because we want our broadcast. This comes out to 31. Wow, I added that pretty quick, huh? Of course not. I say, okay, 1 less 32 is 31. It's always going to be that. 1 less 16, if the line would be here, it would be 15. 1 less 1, if the line would be here, what's 1 less 8? 7. It's like that. So here, okay, so 31 and 32, right? I take this number here and I add it to this number right here. And that's going to be 100.63. Okay? That's your broadcast. Well, what's in between? 33 to 62. That's it. These are the usable IP addresses. That's it. Now, you see this, right? 64, 63, okay? So 96, 95. Look at that. The second way you can do that. All right, 95 and then 65 to 94. 9. Okay, this board is slow. That's a 94. Okay, 64, 65, right? Right after 64 was before 95. All I did was say, okay, 1 less 96 is the broadcast for the previous network. If you were to add 31 plus 64, what do you get? 95. Same thing. And you keep going. Okay, 1 less 224, 223. What's after 96? 97. What's before 223? 222. That's all that is. That's all that is. The magic is this. The magic is knowing, okay, X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You draw your line. You find out what this increment number is right there, where you see that pencil. Okay? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Wow. Okay? Not good. Let's try that one again. All right. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. That's not right there. This right here is 32. Okay? That's how you increment. That's how you increment. So for your network ID, 32, 64 on the last octet, 96, and 32 more. That's what? 128, 160, and 32 is 192, and then 224. Okay, and really we have 0 because we start from 0. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 networks. 8. So that's how many networks you have. 2, 4, 8. Okay, and then it's always going to be one less, one less, one less, one less, one less, right? So that's going to be 31, and then this one here is going to be 63, and then this one here is going to be 95, and then this one here is going to be 159, and then this one here for the 60 it'll be 191, and then this will be 223 for this guy right here, and then this will be 255 because it's the last one. Okay, and then whatever's in between. That's all there is to do in the third octet. In the fourth octet. Very simple. This is what you need to know. Draw your line, find that increment all the way down, and then you do the rest. Okay, let's do a B. All right, let's see if I can make it a little bit better here. So we're working with 2 octets now. Let's make it black again. All right, let me step more this way. I need room. Okay, so 172.16, and let's just put it out right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Our magical line, right? Our class full boundary is right there. We got these 2 octets we can work with. All right? We have a possibility of host 65,536 minus 2, okay, that we can use. So let's change the color. Let's use blue, okay? And we're going to put the line, I don't know, right here. Hey, it was supposed to be blue. No. Come on, I want a blue. What's up with that? Blue. Okay. The line's right there. All right, so you just moved this line over here. Okay, so how many hosts do we have available? Well, we know that up to this point, we have 256. So 512, 1024, 2048 minus 2 is 2046. So you have the possibility of having 2046 hosts. Networks 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So you have 32 networks that you can have with 2046 hosts in there. So then if we have this, what mask is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a CIDR 21. Okay? So with the CIDR 21, that we're working on the third octet and the fourth, but our focus is the third octet. 1, 2, 4, 8. So that means our network increments by 8 on the third octet. So let's erase some of this stuff down here. Okay, so we know that, I erased one too many lines. So we know that our line is right here. All right, so these two do not change. Okay, so we have 172.16.0.0 because we're using the 0 network. Now we're incrementing by 8. Where? On the third octet. Okay? Not by 8, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. We're incrementing by 16. It's the bit value to the left of the line. Wasn't the line really on the other side? 1, 2, 4. All right, whatever. It's down here now. All right, we're incrementing by 16. So therefore, on the third octet, 172.16. 16 and 0, 16. So what do we put on the fourth octet? Well, if you add all these bit values together, well, there's the network ID, so this would be 0. Okay, now for the broadcast address. Let's do these two. That's why you would add these. So I got ahead of myself. All right, so for the first network, you add these over here in the third octet. That gives you 15. So 15 and 0 is 172.16.15 dot what? If you add all these up, 255. Which then, if you've reached the maximum, okay, 15.255 over here, well, this flips over 16, and then this resets back to 0. Just like if we were incrementing by 16. You see? It's like a check and balance type thing. So now we got 16 plus 15, third octet, that's 31. 172.16.31, fourth octet, 0, fourth octet, 255. Just by looking at this right here, you can say, my broadcast is 31.255. It's reached the maximum. So this flips over this guy to 32, resets that to 0. Your next network is 32.0. If you were to increment by 16, well, 16 and 16 is 32. You see how that works? You just got to see where you're working. That is it. And again, if you want to get the broadcast, 32 plus who? 15 is what? 47. So you got 47 on the third octet. These do not change. They remain. All right. And then obviously 0 on the fourth octet with 255 on the fourth octet. All right. So what's in between? Well, 0.0, 0.1. Correct? Through what's before 15.255? 15.254. What's after 16.0? 16.1. What's before 31.255? 31.254. What's after 32.0? 32.1. What's before 47.255? 47.254. That's it. And obviously you're using your new mask of 21. Okay? This is a Class B address. Class B address. Okay? Again, we're using the same little method. We're drawing our line, see where our increment is. In this case, it was in the third octet, so we increment in the third octet. That's what you need to really pay attention to. Not that they're not going to ask you a million subnetting questions. All right, not in none of the exams. Associate, professional, or expert, you just need to know this. This is something that you need to know because you're going to use it every day when you get out there. Okay? All right. Let's do one more last example. This time when you do a Class A. And we'll do a simple Class A. We're not going to get crazy. Well, we got to get a little crazy. All right? From the beginning. All right. So a Class A. 10 You know what? Let me move my little ball that's over here with all my tools. There you go. Come on. Follow me. Let's go this way. And let me close this right here. Okay, and let's put this all the way in the corner if it allows me to. Come on. I'm not ambidextrous, but I'm going to, there we go. Work with me, work with me. All right, let me get my pencil back. So we're going to use a class A address. And again, we're going to do the same thing we do with the B. 10.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a class A address, the magical line or the default for the classful boundary of a class A is right there between the first and the second octet. Let's say these individuals are giving you, especially in the colleges, all right, are giving you all these huge subnetting questions, right? And they decide, hey, I want to draw a line right here. Okay? All right. So I am not going to count. I know that right here, 65,536. And you want to keep doubling 2 more times, you knock your socks off. Okay? Yeah, no. That's a lot. We're in the hundreds of thousands of hosts already. Remember, this side is the host. Okay? How many networks you have? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. So you actually have 64 networks with a couple 100,000 hosts on each network. Okay? Obviously, in a school, they're going to make you do the math. So you can't use a calculator, so pencil and paper. Okay? If you go inside a Prometric Center to take your certification exam, you're not going to get a question like this ever. Okay? So don't worry about it. But just so you know that the concept is the same. What is our focus now? The second octet. I just drew a line, right? So what's our bit value? 1, 2, 4. So we increment by 4. Where? On the second octet. So 10 dot, and we're going to use the 0 network. So 0, 0, 0. Then the next network is 10, 4, second octet, 0, 0. Then second octet, let me put my periods here. 10, 8, 0, 0. Okay? That's it. You keep incrementing all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. All right? Now, what you could add this, that's 3. Add this, 255. Add this, 255. All right? So what do we have? 10, 0, second octet. This 3 is in the second octet. And you see both octets, the third and the fourth, 255. Okay? It's reached its maximum. Flips this guy over to 4, 0, 0. There it is right there. So, again, second octet plus 3. 255, fourth octet. Okay? 10, 7, 255. Reaches maximum on the third octet. Flips this guy over to 8. Resets the other 2 to 0. And so forth. Let's do the last one. So, 8 and 3, that's 11. Again, 255. Okay? And then next network would be 10, 12, right? If you come in by 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. This concept does not change for IP version 4. IP version 6, whole new story, okay? And you only subnet in the network ID portion of the address, okay? You don't host ID, nothing. You do nothing with that. It's all on the subnet portion of the network side of the address. But for IPv4, this is it. It's the same concept. It's the line. Draw the line, find how you increment all the way down. All right. And again, they're not going to make you do anything like that. They're going to give you an address that's already subnetted, and they're going to ask you what's the range, what's the broadcast, what's the network that it belongs to, things of that nature. But you still need to do this so you can find out. So you can find out. Because if I pick an address, hey, the 10.0.1.52 is in what network? Well, it's in the 0 network, right? The 10.6.8.100. What network is it? Oh, it's in the 4, right? Because I'm looking at the second octet. The 10.9.52.80. Oh, okay, it's right here. Because you know the next one is 12. Can't be there. Must be in the 8. You see? But you got to do that line to find it. I hope this clarified it. I hope it helped some people. But again, follow the concept. Draw the line. After a while, this becomes second nature. Just by looking at a mask, you'll know what's going on. And remember, that is the key to subnetting in IPv4. Take a look at the mask. And if you still have any confusions whatsoever, if you go to Amazon, my book is there. All right. The only book you'll ever need. All right. For IP. All right. The only book you'll ever need for IP is right there on Amazon. You can purchase it, and then that's it. You'll be a master of IP. Okay. So with that said, I hope this helped. There'll be more lessons to come. I'll see you guys later.